Om Bhurбhuvassuvaḥam Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayantam.
Namaste everyone. So we continue our discussion on Mahatma Babaji, great immortal Himalayan master, and our discussion based on greatest book on Kriya Yoga, just yoga and meditation tradition, and that is Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahamsa Yogananda. Let me remind you that the first edition of this book is in 1946, and since that time it's absolute bestseller on yoga and meditation, especially a few chapters actually dedicated to the Mahatma Babaji, and one of them, chapter 33, title goes like Babaji, the Yogi Christ of modern India. And exactly in this book, Yogananda, first time in history, proclaimed the existence of Mahatma Babaji. According to the information which we have just exactly from this book, if the deathless, let me just read. The deathless Guru bears no marks of age on his body. He appears to be no more than a man of 25 years old, though we know that he is actually many thousands and possible many millions years old. This humankind, this civilization is not the first one on this planet. And of course, no scientific proof for that, at least at the moment. Maybe, it sounds slightly unscientific, but anyway, according to the esoteric traditions, we know that before human civilization, it was like other and still other more ancient cultures and civilizations, and it is quite possible that let us say a million or few millions years back, so it was other civilizations on this planet. And what we know about Mahatma Babaji, that he is a guru, the main spiritual master, not only for the human, for humans, for human civilization, but also for those civilizations which were before us. Well, the title of this chapter 33 goes like Babaji, the Yogi Christ of modern India. And let me express that I am slightly disagree with Yogananda, because actually Babaji is not yogi of not Indian yogi. He is the master who is staying on this planet Earth for such a long time that we can't call him, let us say, Indian or Indian yogi. Yes, physically, the area of his, the location of his secret cave ashrams, and let me emphasize that not one ashram, but number of ashrams. The location is Himalayas, area of Badrinath and Kedarnath, but also it's near Kailash, and sorry to say, but Kailash is Tibet, and actually at the moment it's a part of China. So actually the funny stuff for us is that we may easily call Babaji as a great yogi of modern China, because actually Kailash is in Tibet, which is territory of China. So it means Babaji is not a part of Indian culture, and ethnically speaking he is not Indian at all. He is not even human being at all, because according to the legend, you can can approach this as the legend, or maybe as the just fact, but well, many millions of years back he appeared from light on the Mount Kailash. So, and it means we can't call him really human being, we can't call him, you know, Indian or Tibetan or Chinese. He is just the divine incarnation, which was not born in a classical usual way, but he just appear from the flash of light on the Mount Kailash, and that's how he came to this planet Earth, and so it's absolutely amazing. Quite many people they express their doubts about existence of Mahatma Babaji. Is it really so that he is really somebody who is physically lives somewhere in Himalayas, etc.? And of course, that's the question of your belief system and your spiritual level as well, let me say. But at the same time, we have quite many witnesses, and that is already kind of fact. And Yogananda himself, who wrote this book, he met Mahatma Babaji actually a number of times, but in this book he is describing only one meeting. It's happened 1920, just exactly before actually Yogananda immigrated to the United States of America. Mahatma Babaji came to him and gave certain blessings and spiritual instructions on this Yogananda's spiritual mission in the West. But also Yogananda mentioning quite many Kriya Yoga masters who also met Mahatma Babaji personally. For example, a direct guru of Yogananda, whose name was Sri Yukteswar, he also met Mahatma Babaji at least 3 times, but we suppose actually really speaking much more, but at least we have 3 stories. And also some other gurus, for example Swami Kebalananda, who in the end of 19th century also met Mahatma Babaji and spent really a long time in Himalayas together with Mahatma Babaji. And then another great yogi, and all that stories we have in chapter number 33. Another great yogi, his name was Ram Gopal Mazumdar, who also physically met Babaji. And you know, my guru, Yogi Rama, and actually I'm practicing meditation of Kriya Yoga for years, and I teach Kriya Yoga meditation, and I received initiation from my guru, whose name was Yogi Rama. He was born 1923 and left his physical body 2006. And my guru, Yogi Rama, also was a direct disciple of Mahatma Babaji. So it means we have a lot of witnesses, and that's really something. In this great book, which is Autobiography of a Yogi, we have a picture of Mahatma Babaji. Actually, it's not photo, it's just somebody's sketch, somebody's artwork. And Yogananda Paramahamsa, because he himself personally met Mahatma Babaji a number of times, so he just sits next to the artist, and this artist just created out of his or her imagination this picture, and just Yogananda gave certain description how it must be. So it means the picture which we have in this book and in internet as well. In internet we have a huge number of different artwork, how Mahatma Babaji looks like, but just please remember that is just somebody's creative fantasy, just artwork, just painting or graphic. And really, how he looks like, that's also a big question, because you may not recognize him because of many reasons. And one of them, the question is, okay, how he looks like really, because if you take this Yogananda's picture and suppose that you have to go to Himalayas and meet somebody who is similar to, in a face, in an appearance to this picture, then I think it's going to be huge confusion. You will never meet one, even if you meet him really. And even in this book, Yogananda is describing wonderful, wonderful and important information. He, means Babaji, is known to have appeared in many slightly different forms to the various devotees and disciples. So that's even greater problem to recognize him if you even can't be sure, okay, what is how his face looks like, okay, well, that's even more difficult job to accomplish. Well, Yogananda, in this wonderful book, he is actually describing number of wonderful and sweet stories, and of course I'm not going to to tell all that stories. You can read all that stories yourself, and that's going to be most probably the proper and just let me say that we have a lot of not only witnesses who really personally met Mahatma Babaji, but also stories about how Babaji went somewhere, what he told, what's happened, what kind of spiritual instruction or sometimes miracles he performed. And let me see what else we have in this book. Okay, in this video we are actually discussing information from the chapter number 33. We're not going out beyond this chapter, what is extremely important in this chapter, that Yogananda is not just giving us information, or better to say message about Mahatma Babaji just as the top level immortal Mahatma, and but let me read something really important for us personally. Only one reason, therefore, can motivate Babaji to maintaining his physical form from century to century: the desire to furnish humanity with a concrete example of its own possibility. That's really huge, that Babaji is not just a nice object and we have to worship to this object. Babaji is not an icon to which we have worship or meditate on. Babaji is not just huge and great master and we have to worship to him. That's not the end of the story. And Yogananda proclaiming also very important, let me repeat again, this is example for humanity of its own possibilities, example of our possibilities. So my guru, Yogi Rama, he told us, his disciples, very important thing, which is that, okay, it may sound absolutely outlandish, but this level of Mahatma Babaji is really speaking example for each and every meditation practitioner, and it means in the future, or I mean to say, maybe for you it's going to happen next year, maybe next life, maybe in 1,000 lives, that's also possible. But this level is example of your potentiality, of your possibility, and it means one day, let me repeat again, I don't know when that day will come, but one day you, everyone, I mean of course those who are practicing meditation and like spiritual seekers, one day each of you, each of us will experience this top level God realization, which includes physical immortality. And in this book, in Autobiography of Yogi, Yogananda already mentioning that Babaji is not just icon, not just object, and we have to worship him. But that's example. That's huge. Okay, in the same 33rd chapter, Yogananda is writing that Babaji is example that potentially each and every meditation practitioner may go beyond death, transcend mortality. And Mahatma Babaji is example of this highest level of self-realization. Better to call it even God realization. And let me repeat again. Actually, we already spoke about it in our past videos, that physical immortality, it is not a goal. You know, we as the consciousness are immortal from the very beginning. Okay, our physical bodies born, live life, okay, then die. But we as the consciousness are immortal. But it's interesting that, okay, spirituality is self-inquiry. It's like formula. What does it mean, spirituality? Spirituality means self-inquiry. And in Sanskrit we call it Atma Vichara, self-inquiry. Okay, who am I? What is the source of my consciousness? What is the source of my I am or I amness? What is the source of my soul, if you wish? What is the source of my experience of self-existence? And meditation on this fundamental question is actually spirituality. And of course, intellectually speaking, you know the answer. The source, the ultimate source of your consciousness, your life, your being is, okay, let us call it God. But the question is how to experience that. Because now what we have, and actually not only now, for thousands of years we have philosophers, intellectual guys and girls who are just speak, write books, whatever, articles, give lectures, satsangs on spirituality. And actually, okay, if that is a lecture about Vedanta philosophy, if that is lecture about Buddhist philosophy, of course, easily people say, okay, guys, you are consciousness, you are absolute consciousness. But how to experience that? This is the huge question, and only those people who practice meditation may experience I am consciousness. You know, it's easy to say I am consciousness, but it's totally different question, a totally different level to experience that. And that's what we call in Sanskrit samadhi. Samadhi meditation, which is disappearance of personality, at least for a while, at least for a few hours or few days of that meditation. But then only you can experience this oneness with the Absolute. Okay, you as a consciousness, immortal from the very beginning. You can't achieve immortality as consciousness because you already in that state of immortality. That's the reason why we have reincarnation. Okay, physical body born, live life, then die. Then consciousness continue its existence. But the interesting fact is that on the top level of self-realization, which is actually maybe much better to call God realization, you may experience something absolutely amazing and unbelievable, at least for the human mind. Transformation of the flesh, transformation of the physical plane as well, physical body. That's the reason why highest yogis of Himalayas and Tibet, they never die. They may disappear in a light. They may disappear in a so-called rainbow body. Rainbow body means just when physical body transform itself into the light, and from disciples who sometimes may witness this phenomenon, it's look like, okay, some rainbow, circle shape rainbow, which is not a normal rainbow but the mystical one. That's the reason why we call it rainbow body. But if you wish to achieve immortality, physical immortality, that's impossible. Because physical immortality, it's not the goal to achieve. The goal to achieve is self-inquiry. And on the top of this actual experience of the oneness with the divine absolute consciousness, you may experience also transformation of the physical body as well. Of course, it sounds very easy, and that's not easy practically speaking. And as you can see this video, I'm myself is not immortal. But I'm on the way. I'm on the way, but not to the physical immortality, but to the self-realization. Some experiences already happen in me, with me. But still, you know, if in a Kriya Yoga tradition we know about such huge masters like Mahatma Babaji, another immortal Mahatma Guru is Gorakhnath Babaji, one more immortal Mahatma Guru is Nagaraj Babaji, one more Agastya Muni, one more Patanjali Muni. All that great Mahatma Gurus are physically immortal, and they are example. That's what Yogananda mean, and that's what my Guru Yogi Ramak told to me so many times, that okay, you know, that is example of your potentiality. Okay, let me complete this video for today. God bless you and see you next time.